What is up, everybody? Whale Talks episode 43, man. What a tough time in the world of wrestling. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to start off a little different this time. I'm starting off with basically all the roster. About 30, 40 something wrestlers and producers and people were just fired by WWE. Like I said, I'm a little late to the party here, but I wanted to save it for this, but it's crazy, man. WWE's trying to save some money. The XFL is dead, like I said in my last episode. So I wanted to go through the name of the people that were let go, which to me, some people I'm like, I don't want to say I'm happy for them, but I'm like, hey, take this time to go show WWE what they're missing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not happy that these people lost their jobs. I'm happy that they're gonna get a chance to shine. But this is crazy, man. Let's start it off here. So, one of the big people, one of the guys that makes no sense, they've let go of Rusev. Rusev has been a great talent. His build up, even in NXT, was pretty solid. And then he came up, had the big rivalry with John Cena, was undefeated for a year. You knew John Cena was gonna beat him, but Rusev is so charismatic. Rusev Day got over. Pretty much Rusev has gotten over everything that he can. And they just let him go. And they keep Lana, which is crazy to me. Good for her, for not losing her job. Like I said, I don't want anyone losing their job. Even if I'm not a big fan of them, I don't want to be like, oh, fire Roman Reigns, he sucks. You know what I mean? I have no idea why they let go of Rusev, but I'm telling you right now, if Rusev is star written all over him. The dude can talk. He can wrestle with the best of them. And he's big. You know what I mean? He's a big body and he can move around there like he's not. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping Rusev goes to AEW. Even New Japan. Imagine Rusev having a run in like the G1 or something. That would be fucking awesome. But, I've always been a big fan of Rusev. Everyone knows me. I love me some Rusev. This one hurt, man. Drake Maverick. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's just Rockstar Spud. Who cares? But this guy, man, he was always a good hand. I thought he was a fantastic general manager. The stuff he was doing with R-Truth was, it was funny. But then this man posted a video of himself break down crying. You know what I mean? And I just lost it, dude. I was just like, how can they let go of someone who loves this company as much as this man does? You know what I mean? Like I said, I was always a fan of Rockstar Spud. I hope he could bounce back. Like I said, I know people are probably like, it's just Rockstar Spud, but I feel like this guy is a benefit to any company he's in. He's such a good presence to have. That goes into a couple people they fired here, but maybe him and EC3, another person they let go, which I'll get to, can finally do something out of WWE, put them back together how they were in TNA. Like, it's crazy. Like, to me, like, it's weird because Maverick was being used a lot. This made no sense to me. He's actually going to be able to compete in the Cruiserweight tournament still, which is weird. He's fired, but he's got a couple more. I think he has 3 more matches left for WWE, which he's actually going to do. I'm hoping he gets to shine because this guy is not a bad wrestler. Like, people who saw his work in progress and stuff when he was grunting through there, this guy's a pretty good wrestler, so. Next was Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. This shocked me. Like, this one made no sense because these guys were being used so much with AJ, and they were a vital point of the rivalry between AJ and The Undertaker. And I thought these guys were going to stay there forever. They signed like a 5-year contract or something like that. Nope, they just got rid of them too. I was very shocked. But again, this is one of those situations where I'm not happy they lost their jobs, but just to see that Karl Anderson going back to Japan, he's been posting, he changed his name back to Machine Gun. He had all this merch made, the Machine Gun is back. I like Luke Gallows, but Karl Anderson has always been a main event level star to me. I know people could laugh at me, but there's certain guys I get clinged on to, and I was just like, this is the guy. You know what I'm saying? His promo work in New Japan was untouchable. This guy was one of the best in the stick. He was on my top 10 around that time. I hope he hasn't lost it, you know what I mean? Especially now he's in the best shape of his life. I hope he goes to Japan and finally gets a nice title run. He would make a fucking fantastic U.S. champion over there. So Luke Gallows too. I don't want to hate on Luke, but Luke, he's pretty good as a tag team. I love him with Karl Anderson. So I'm hoping they go back to Bullet Club and just dominate. AJ was talking about how on Mixer he feels bad. You know what I'm saying? But AJ, don't feel bad. Like, these guys are going to do so much better for themselves now. You know what I mean? Next on the list, another name that made no sense, but I feel like I should have seen this coming, was Lio Rush. Lio Rush had, his bad stint in WWE where he left because he had bad attitude, and he got into a fight with like a verbal little argument with Finn Balor about his wife or something. It was a little crazy. He was Bobby Lashley's manager, and then he leaves, and then he comes back, and he has this amazing, kind of resurgence. He wins the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. He's having some good matches on NXT. His matches with Angel Garza are some of the best matches NXT's had on that TV show. You know what I mean? He's doing great. He had that awesome triple threat with Strickland, and I think it was a Fatal 4-Way, actually. But I think it was Strickland and Jordan Devlin and Leo was in it. That was awesome. But this is a guy who's going to benefit. I want him to go to New Japan so bad. Imagine Lio Rush versus Hiromu Takahashi. Lio Rush versus Will Ospreay is a match that must be seen on a New Japan level. But he would benefit from doing both. Because this guy's a good talker, too, Just because he's short doesn't mean anything. He's really, really, really good on the mic. Which is crazy because he even said it himself. He never considered himself a mic guy until he did the whole Lashley shtick. That's the sad part, too, because I was hoping they were going to get him and Lashley back together because I feel like that's the way they were headed. If Lashley's saying he needs a whole new manager and this, I was like, oh, bring back Leo, Lashley. But sucks for him, man. Hopefully he can bounce back. Like I said, he's only 24 or 25 years old, so he's got his whole career ahead of him. Probably one of the biggest ones on the list that pissed me off. EC3. EC3 was one of the only reasons I kept up with Impact, man. I loved EC3's run in Impact, I loved his run in the regular NXT as Derrick Bateman. With the America pants and teaming with Daniel Bryan. That's how much I actually really like this guy. And the love triangle with Maxine and Johnny Curtis. I bet you guys are probably like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I used to legit go on my computer to watch NXT when NXT was on WWE.com just to watch Derrick Bateman, man. This guy just has so much charisma, and it's a shame. It's a real damn shame that WWE hired him. He had a great run in NXT, and then they brought him up to the main roster. He showed up a couple times, got his ass beat, and that was it. Why would you waste someone as talented as EC3? I don't know what this guy did. I don't know if they're just mad because he got himself over. I still remember his rivalry with fucking Velveteen Dream. That was awesome. I never understood why they just didn't put him and Spud back together, call it a day. I don't know. This one bothers me, man. EC3 is legit Vince McMahon's perfect wrestler. He's jacked. He's good on the mic. You know what I mean? And he's tan, he's big. I don't understand why Vince is just nah. This one was real rough, too. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, man. I pretty much thought Zack Ryder was a lifer. Kurt Hawkins, not so much. He's, comes in and out of the company a lot. I think this is his second time or third time getting fired, which again sucks. Not saying, that's a good thing, but I can't believe they actually let more, I feel bad for Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins is a cool ass dude, but I really feel sorry for Zack here, man. 14 years. 14 years of having his dream job, He had that amazing moment with the IC title in the ladder match. Even Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes made a perfect post about Zack Ryder, saying that, he's a benefit to any company he's in. And he showed the moment of him winning that IC title with his dad. You know what I mean? This one hurt, man. Like I said, I've been a Zack Ryder fan since his debut in ECW, when he had the stupid long tight and the short tights on. He was using the Rough Rider leg Larry, and he called it the profile shot for 1 week. Me and Zack Ryder go way back. The broski boot. He got big over. I still remember when The Rock was being, they were chanting Zack Ryder's name and The Rock had to stop what he was doing and talk about it. I was like, it's a shame this man got himself over with that YouTube show and everything that he did, and they let it go to waste. Like I said, I feel really bad for Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. I feel like their tag team reunion was shedded on. It shouldn't have been a lot better than what it was, but what are you going to do? Another guy that surprised me, I never ever thought he would get fired, Heath Slater, man. I can tell this one, Zach and a couple people hurt. This one hurt the locker room, I think, the most, honestly. People were so upset of Heath Slater getting fired. I was upset. Heath Slater was the perfect guy to have there, man. This guy bled WWE. He basically grew up there, man. Another guy that's been there like a million zillion years, just like Zach. I don't know. I feel super bad for him. Like I said, Slater's got, he's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but Slater's got mic skills. He's made every gimmick work. He's made all his group works. I loved all the groups he was in. I loved the Core. I loved the Nexus. I loved the Social Outcast, underrated group right there. 3MB, the one-man band. He's made everything he's done work. So any company that gets Heath Slater is going to be better off. Eric Young, no surprise. Eric Young never had a chance. Sanity never had a chance. Sanity was fantastic in NXT. They run roughshod there for a couple of years or maybe a year or two. They came to the main roster. They lost their debut, and then The Miz destroyed all of them before WrestleMania, before fighting Shane. Like I said, Eric Young needs to, honestly, he needs to just go back to TNA. That was the place where he gets treated with respect. And I like Eric Young. Eric Young is a really good wrestler when you let him be. Good promo, too, because he got that weird raspy voice, but I feel bad for them, man. Another guy that hurt my feelings because they never, ever, ever let this man shine. Aiden English. I know people are going to be like, it's just Aiden English, but go watch his run in NXT when he was doing the singing thing. Go watch him and Kaz have that awesome promo off where they're singing to each other. Fucking, he got over in Rusev Day just for doing the stupid, it's Rusev Day, all that stuff. And he was a hell of a commentator, too. He actually wasn't a bad commentator. Like, I'm just like, what is wrong with these people, man? Like, another guy that they just let rot there, and then they just got rid of him. But, big ups to Aiden English. I hope he doesn't just stop. He feels like one of those guys that would just stop wrestling. I hope not. Like, next on the list, like I said, this is a big list. Sarah Logan. This one made no sense to me. Sarah Logan has been on TV every single day. Every single week on Monday Night Raw, Sarah Logan's been on TV. She's had a couple little stuff with Charlotte. She was in a chamber match. And they had the chance to do the Riot Squad 3-way at WrestleMania. They didn't do it. This woman gets used every single day. She even got brought up on the new Monday Night Raw, and they just fire her? This made no sense at all. Honestly. Next on the list is Erick Rowan. Another one that made no sense. They pushed Erick Rowan. He was undefeated. I'm not going to lie to you. I was not the biggest fan of Erick Rowan in the Wyatt family. This guy really, really, really made me a fan of his. I hear so many good things about him. And then I saw his, his run with Daniel Bryan. It's what made me go, man, Erick Rowan's kind of cool. You know what I mean? And then the little mini run he had with Luke Harper again. But Erick Rowan is simple. Go to AEW. Become Luke Harper's right-hand man in the Dark Order. He's pretty much guaranteed there. It makes so much sense. Because if you really think about it, Luke Harper, Brody Lee, he hates everyone in the Dark Order. He thinks you're all trash. He should bring in his own guy. You know what I mean? So, Primo and Epico. I had no idea they were still employed. Like I said, I thought they only wrestled in Puerto Rico. I really got nothing to say about these guys. Like I said, they can wrestle in Puerto Rico. They could be a solid tag team wherever they go. They were a good tag team. Primo I always thought was very underrated. He was actually very, very smooth in the ring. Epico had that cool move where he does the 3 suplexes, the different types. It was like a Chimera Plex that Samoa Joe used to do back in the day. But like I said, these guys weren't used anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Mike and Maria Kanellis. So, everyone's, I get it. Mike Kanellis asked for his release. Mike Bennett. I'm just gonna call him Mike Bennett because this has been my guy since the Prodigy day, man. I am a big fan of Mike Bennett. You know what I mean? Even in the Kingdom and all that. He's always talking about the Kingdom, but I feel like that's messed up because Maria did not ask for her release. Mike Bennett even said Maria wanted to stay in the company. I feel like that's messed up how they just got rid of them both. But they definitely will be fine. They are going to Ring of Honor. They're going to New Japan ASAP. These guys are going to be great. I hope Mike gets to show what he can do. Because I always thought he was a fantastic promo, even though he sounds like CM Punk. He's a great dude. He's a good dude. Maria's awesome at her job at being a heel antagonist. So they'll be okay. I know people are going to laugh at me, but I actually was a little sad they fired No Way Jose, man. Like I said, as being a Dominican person myself, it felt kind of cool having, some type of representation in WWE, and there he was, man. His, like I said, he did a lot better in NXT, main roster. He was just Adam Rose 2.0. They gave him the conga line. He did nothing. He was a super jobber. Like I said, I would have loved to see him as a heel. Like he comes out partying and then he loses his mind. But I feel bad for him. I hope he gets to do something. Another one that made no sense. Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna grew on me over the time. Especially now. Her in-ring work was really, really solid the last couple times I saw her. You know what I mean? She went at it with Charlotte. She went at it with fucking Asuka, I think, a couple times. Like, she went at it with Shayna Baszler, I think. She was doing pretty good stuff, and they just fired her. But apparently she wanted her release anyway. But it's still a little bummer, though, because I felt like she really could have been something. But you can tell she is destined to go to AEW. It's where she should have gone in the first place, honestly. But, big ups to her. Oh, man, this one made no sense to me either. Kurt Angle. You spent all those years trying to get Kurt away from TNA. You finally do it and you fire him? You fire the guy that you have been trying to steal away from. It's just like Sting. They spent 20-something years trying to get Sting to WWE. What do? He gets a victory in a tag team match and he gets jobbed out and he becomes a loser. Like, ugh. Kurt can pretty much retire. He doesn't have to go anywhere. Would I like to see him go back to TNA? Not really. I would rather him just retire, honestly, but that's just me. These are the backstage producers that got fired. Gregory Helms, Shane Helms, a hell of a guy. My favorite cruiserweight of all time, Gregory Helms. I'm telling you, Gregory Helms, 2007, mid-2006, Gregory Helms, 2008, Gregory Helms with the do-rag, untouchable in that ring. That man was doing some of the best, most solid work I've ever seen in a wrestling ring. That's a fact. Lance Storm, he just got hired 4 months ago. That was stupid. He ended up closing down his school, too, so I really hope he doesn't get screwed by this. And pretty much Lance Storm trains amazing wrestlers, so. Billy Kidman, who's been there also like 14, 15 years. I don't know why they got rid of him. Mike Rotunda, Bray Wyatt's daddy. They got rid of him. The big one right here, fucking David Finlay. Finlay, man. They got rid of Finlay, who's been in that company for so long, who pretty much the women division owes Finlay a lot of respect because everything that he did for that women's division. I'm telling you, Finlay and I think it was Sarah Del Rey pretty much made the women's division what it is today there. Pat Buck, Sarah Stock, Sean Daivari, and Scott Armstrong, which I'm like, this is crazy to me. A couple developmental guys. I won't speak on all of them. I honestly don't know who a lot of them are. Like Alexander Jacek, MJ Jenkins, which I think was I don't even remember. Alyssa Morano, Dan Maffa, man. That was my guy. The guy who debuted and Samoa Joe killed him. So I thought Maffa actually had a lot of charisma. Tanara Conti, who pretty much was released and wasn't released and now is released. Tino, I call him Tino Spaghetti. Tino Tatabelli. That one made no sense. I think he goes out with Mandy still. I always thought that dude was the second coming of Randy Orton, man. Like, I know people laugh at me, but that guy had potential. Cesar Banani, which I'm shocked they always use him in NXT. Mars Wang, Muhammad Fum, Marcos Gomes. Oh god, some of these names are unpronounceable. And this one was stupid. Cassius Ohno, man. Chris Hero. They fired Chris Hero again. Like, why? That man has a wrestling mind that people wish they had. Why would you fire Chris Hero? I honestly don't understand. But hey, that he posted a video of him, killing off Cassius Ohno, and he's back to being Chris Hero. Hopefully, I get to see him. WWE should snatch him. I mean, AEW should snatch him up. The mind of Chris Hero. Never got to see my Kings of Wrestling reunion. They needed to do that. We got a little taste of it, but we never got them together again. So stupid. Missed opportunity. Like, if we're going to do nothing with Cesaro, at least have him be part of one of my favorite tag teams of all time, the Kings of Wrestling. KOW King. But hopefully, New Japan, G1, match with Suzuki, hopefully. Hero's got, people always, he's not in shape or whatever, but this guy, he's weird. He can do everything he did. He can do kick-ups, he can do high-fly, he can do whatever he wants, but that's everyone that's been released so far. Like I said, a lot of surprising names. I have never seen them fire people like this. They were saying how some people might come back, blah, 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 like Lance Storm or whatever, or Sarah Logan. I know I keep seeing Sarah Logan's back, then she's not, I don't know. I just thought this was kind of messed up, man, to release all these people, especially in this pandemic area. Like, am I happy for EC3 to finally shine? Am I happy for Karl Anderson to finally go back home? You know what I mean? Yes, but people lost their jobs. Karl Anderson has like 700 kids. You know what I mean? Kurt Hawkins just had a baby not too long ago. His wife was freaking out. Like, you just feel bad for that, man. But I just wanted to start off the show with that, and let's get to the rest of what we got to talk about.